Hello, everybody. So, Psychic Soul Sense is here, and I want to talk about violent religion, religious violence, however you want to say it. Because I have talked about a lot of times in my videos about how religion is the first, club ever started. And through religion, they created laws and all kinds of stuff and based it around that. Like even our educational system, our community hierarchy, so on. We've been programmed to always look up to somebody else for the answers. And we got to get out of that. So, the rise of NNA world religions, Armageddon mind control. I think that's what I'll call this video. 1,700 YA international spreading of violent world religions based on satanic blood sacrifice, holy wars, and worshipping alien false father gods. Armageddon mind control linked to the Atlantean cataclysm and human genocidal campaigns. One of the largest lies promoted to divide our race is the war over gods, promoted through religious violence. Religious violence is propagated by the NAA to generate archonic deception behavior, to meet the AD strategies used by controllers to achieve total domination propagated by the NNA, and enslavement of the human race and planet Earth. Religious violence is promoted through mind control in the planet to triggers, events, and into the Armageddon software, which is a NNA agenda. NNA religion meets all top 5 archonic deception strategy objectives. Into Armageddon software, which is... let me go back. At this time, our planet is undergoing stages of the deconstruction of the cross in our physical body, spiritual bodies, and other matter life forms that have been impacted by the crucifixion and blood sacrifice. This is effectively the remembering release and ensure of the memories of blood sacrifice and spiritual vampirism and violence from the past, present, and future timelines. May we consider the source, origin, and basis of the religion violence and how violence and hate-filled literature has impacted our culture, society, and belief systems that transcend any and all religion. Inner violence towards the self and others promotes external methods of violence. There is no possibility of knowing God through intentional and premeditated violence and the blood sacrifice of a human being. There is no such thing as a holy war or just war. For the last 2,000 years, the agenda has been spread to violent religions across the earth, with the primary use of Christianity and Islam worshippers who are numbered in the billions. May we consider long-range impacts of religious violence and its subtext to the collective mind of humanity, in so that we may commit to remove all inner violence against our own person, to remove all violent thoughts, actions, and deeds from our personal behaviors. The mass consciousness program towards committing violent actions, whether inner or outer violence, is made strong, and as we remember the cross and that what it has done to mankind, we can terminate all of its collective influence made upon our bodies, hearts, and mind and spirit. The purpose of the artificial cross architecture is to enslave humanity through the violent crucifixion of blood sacrifice in their inner spiritual being of Christ's self. So, like, if they say that we are made in His image and that we are like God, and so, but God is in here, and then we have the mindset and thoughts of how He was crucified for His beliefs, that holds us back. Because once it's like a contradiction, we're supposed to believe in His ways and what He taught, but He was crucified for that, and we still get that today. I would be called a blasphemist if I was in church right now. Violent religion was created by the NNA to keep these cross implants and their religious belief systems of mind control in place so that humanity would live in fear of the retribution of His Father. This archonic controller mechanism was to keep humanity subservient to the continual feeding of their false gods. One of the most specific ways to feed the bloodthirsty vampires in mass killing and wars, especially in the name of God or religion, is the blood sacrifice, which in all cases is satanic ritual killing, which feeds Satanism, as well as satanic forces to spread the earth. The NNA entities are, in the majority, a satanic force. So this is a way of life for them, and it's aligned in their mentality. So, this is interesting. Okay, sorry. The deconstructing of the cross is a massive topic. It was in a newsletter in May 2014. This also peels back the many, many layers of which the cross theology has promoted a spiritual disease into the subconscious and conscious human mind. The cross theology is the basis of genocide, blood, and human sacrifice through torturous death and continual wars made in God's name. Humans have accepted this anti-human war agenda through mind control and mass deception around their true origins. None of this has anything to do with God or Christ, and the predator mind control program inserted to cause fear, violence, and slave-tonicism worship of false gods, rather than support humanitarian and life-giving value systems that would empower the entire planet. This is interesting. It's so true, too. It is so true. One of the largest lies promoted to divide our race is the war over gods promoted through religious violence. The false archetypal story of a crucified Christ figure is a mockery to further enslave humans into believing in salvation model through a crucified cross. It represents a tortured human being as well as all the Christ, and we have been given crucified implants as our planet was invaded. These structures are called crucifixion implants. It's a tangible control structure placed in the seventh dimensional logos, and therefore it is our individual bodies. So the seventh chakra, its complex meridians, and the entire left side of our female spirit of our bodies. So that's why they explain the left side being female, the right side being male. One is RNA, one is DNA. It's very interesting. We are not aware of these implants until we open the 7 chakra seal. See, the 7 seals are the 7 chakras. Every time you open a chakra and deal with traumas from that area, or you heal that chakra or balance it out, things start coming back into place. You know, people can fix mental illnesses. People can cure cancer in their body. People can, this is real. all you got to do is believe. Your thoughts become feelings, which become beliefs, then become material things. This is like a radio receptor, and whatever you turn the dial to is what you're receiving. Okay, so that makes so much sense now, like why we are tortured, because it is, like they said, Christ being tortured. We carry that DNA on. And so that's the beliefs that we have, and it holds us back. Reference from historical timeline trigger events. Luciferian Knights Templar cover story is to hide the Christ mission and humanity's star origins. Fallen, alien, God-worship, and blood sacrifice-based religion that became the canonized Bible. The rise of the NNA world religious Armageddon mind control. Internal spreading of violent world religious-based satanic blood sacrifice and holy wars. Satanic beings of the negative alien groups are aware who controls the mind controls the soul. By starting to implement religious sexual trauma and some from genital trauma or genital mutilation as young as possible, they hope to fragment the mind as well as the soul. When a person is sexually traumatized, such as through rape as a young child, it is the worst damage one can commit to his soul, and that act alone can fragment the personality into multiple personality disorder. This occurs, the satanics can bind mind control or use CIA program tests to dominate and torture. MK Ultra. I read a book, it was 650 some pages, and it was MK Ultra, and I'm telling you, that stuff is real. And in our religions, ancient religions, you can go back and read about the sexual torture. It's a real thing. The relationship of Christianity and violence is the subject of controversy because one view is that Christianity advocates peace. That's why you find stuff like that in the Catholic stuff. How come all the priests do that crap to kids? Oh my God. Okay, yeah, because there's supposed to be peace and love and compassion, when it is also viewed and proven as a violent religion. It's supposed to be compassion and forgiveness of wrongs by others. Such debates have led to the concepts such as just war theory. Throughout history, certain teachings from the Old Testament, New Testament, and Christian theology have been used to justify the use of force among the most notorious examples of Christian violence. To this list is added warrior popes, support for capital punishment, corporal punishment under the guise of spare the rod, spoil the child, justifications of slavery worldwide, colonism in the name and conversation to Christianity, the systematic violence of women subjected to men, a broader definition of violence that extends to the meaning of the word to cover up harm or damage that has been perpetrated, not just physical violence per se. Thus, under the definition of Christian violence, includes forms of systematic violence such as poverty, racism, and sexism. And if you can control those things and control what people think about that, you can take over, you can divide. Many authors highlight the ironical contradiction between Christianity's claims to be centered, love, peace, and while at the same time harboring a violent side. For example, that despite its central tenets of love, peace, and Christianity, like most traditions, has always had a violent side. The bloody history of the tradition has provided images of as disturbing as those provided by Islam or Sikhism, and violent conflict is vividly portrayed in the Bible. This history and these biblical images have provided the raw material for theologically justifying the violence of contemporary Christian groups. Wow. So, terrorism refers to terrorism by Muslim or individual motivated by either politics, religion, or both. Terrorist acts have included airline hijacking, kidnapping, assassinations. That is a program. They always had a Muslim there, right? It's a program. Like, they make it happen, and then everybody's like, oh, so in Western societies, the term jihad is often translated to holy war. Scholars of Islamic studies often stress that these words are not synonyms. Muslim authors, in particular, tend to reject such approach, stressing non-militant connotations of the word. These conflicts are among the most difficult to resolve. Particularly where both sides believe that God is on their side. It's a good one. They were smart. Wow. Okay. One of the most infamous quotes associated with religious fascism was made in 1209 during the Siege of Bazaars. A crusader asked the Papal Legate Ahmad Aramik how to tell Catholics from Cathars. See, the Cathars actually, they were part of the first non-religion. When the city was taken, to which Amalek replied, "Tous las tasa dua recontamnara lesanais," or "Kill them all, God will recognize his," in the name of religion. Alright, guys. I hope this was helpful. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. And everybody have a good day.